Turn it up. You're listening to the Country Music Rocks podcast with Danny and Julia. Your all-access pass to all your favorite artists, untold stories, and the real behind-the-scenes of country music.
Tonight, we're going to talk about new emerging artists that you may or may not have heard of that have been found on social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Lots of new ways to discover new music, and it's getting really interesting.
It is, and I know we've talked about this before, but social media is such a massive tool now for artists.
Oh, man.
It's crazy.
It's changed the game for country music artists.
It really has.
Yeah. I remember a couple of years ago, for my former station that I was working with, a lot of you already know who it is. The situation was we would always do these backstage interviews, and we would ask our listeners to send us a note if you want to talk to Dylan Scott or talk to whomever that artist was coming in at the time. And it seemed like every time we had an artist in, we'd get 5 questions. It was always like, I want to be a songwriter, or I want to become an artist. How do I get exposed?
Right.
And the days have changed where radio stations would get a lot of radio play from artists that were backed by a record label.
Right.
You don't need those no more.
Yeah.
You do.
You do, but I know what you're saying.
Right. Like if you have the backing of a record label, you're getting a lot more than if you were just
So
a
much
new
exposure.
artist starting out as a TikToker.
Right.
But every artist that I ever talked to said, first of all, follow your dreams.
Absolutely.
Never let anybody tell you can't do what you want to do. I had an old boss that was like that. He'd always tell me, you're no good at it. Really?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I appreciate that. But the thing that always stuck out to me was social media was always the answer, and especially in today's society.
Yeah.
Because as we
Everybody's
know,
on it.
15 years ago, there was no social media. And the only way you could get into Nashville was to get a record deal.
Right.
And Lainey Wilson's a prime example for that. She worked her butt off.
Right.
She was a Hannah Montana impersonator for years. She worked her way up the ranks, and she got found by somebody in Nashville that knew her, sat down and worked with her, and did a bunch of cool things. Now you can just pop it on your phone.
Yeah, she's everywhere.
Put up a little tripod,
Yeah.
sing away, and you might get discovered.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. And I think about the artists like in Texas. Now it's a little bit different there, right?
It is, but it's huge.
It is.
They have their own following, and it's serious.
It is.
Yeah.
And a couple of years ago, like I remember when I not first got started in the business, but Texas was always like a different area when it came to country music. We just mentioned their name, the Eli Young Band.
Right.
Right? Great guys, fantastic writers, great
Incredible.
performers.
Yes. Yep.
You think about that, and then I think about Pat Green and Aaron Watson.
Yeah. Huge Texas artists.
Massive.
Yep.
Pat Green when people used to go to his shows, first time we ever saw him in Texas was like at an ACM Awards.
Yep.
And I don't want to say what they said, even though I could because it's a podcast.
Yeah.
But like Pat effing Green,
Yeah.
Pat F, and the crowds were just massive.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, it was like it wasn't like going to a little honky tonk bar where there's 500 people.
Right.
There was more like 9,000 people in.
Right.
And this was a nightly occurrence. Not just once a month. It was like nightly for this guy.
Yeah.
And now Aaron Watson kind of had that same thing.
Yep.
But I think there's a role, and you probably witnessed it with Raising Cane's when you got to sit down with Parker McCollum.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. He's
Huge.
from Texas, and he's got a huge following. Now, I know he's got a label deal now.
Right.
Like a mainstream label deal. But prior to that, I mean, he was still a well-known artist in the area.
It's like football in Texas. Like, I don't know what's down there in the water.
I don't know. But, they even have their own charts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
a whole
necessarily
different
think
game.
I don't want to say they don't care about the, Country Air Check or the Billboard country charts. They have their Texas chart, and that's the one they're focused on.
And it's just strictly Texas artists, which is really cool. And that's a whole different train track we can go down.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But I mean, when you think about the artists that come out from that area, and just in that region, like part of Texas, part of Oklahoma, part of Georgia. Like in Georgia, I think off my head right away, like Kane Brown, Jason Aldean, Luke Bryan, Ella Langley now, right? And you think about Alabama and that whole area, Red Clay Strays.
Yeah.
Riley
well, I mean,
Green.
just like a couple weeks ago, the CMA Awards.
Yeah.
You know, there was a couple of, oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting that person or that group to win.
Right.
And, you know, like Cody Johnson, we know him, of course, and he's definitely grown up the ranks.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but he's a Texas artist.
Yes.
And he's had a following long before
Yep.
he hit the mainstream airwaves.
Oh, you know, and I think about the time that we went to the Kenny Chesney show, or not Kenny Chesney
Luke
show,
Combs.
but the Luke Combs tour.
Yeah.
Cody had opened for him.
Yes.
And we had kind of already heard the name, but we didn't understand the following.
He had a solid single out.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much all we knew.
Right. That was it.
But there were others that knew
a lot
all
more
the
about
songs.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's interesting like
It's
that.
so interesting when you like we felt out of our element, like, well, how does everybody else know this and we don't know this? Like, we're supposed to know all these songs, not everybody else.
Yeah,
but it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it was, and I'm happy to see where he's at now.
Oh, 100%.
Same for the Red Clay Strays.
Yeah.
Like I remember last year, about a year ago, playing them for the first time on the radio. I was like, I kind of like this song.
Yeah.
I like the sound of them. Don't know much about them. It's going to take time.
Sure.
It's like when you discover new music, it takes time to build. Like,
it does.
Everyone has a different style of sound that they like. I'll admit, I'm a Southern rock country. Like I like my traditional country, Zach Top. I like a Southern rock like the Allman Brothers, Bad Company. I'm a very classic rock kind of guy, but I like to mix that together.
Yeah.
And I think in those sounds like the Red Clay Strays, when I hear that, it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
And then Cody Johnson, the way he has done stuff. You know, he just did a remake of the Dixie Chicks Landslide. Ooh, so good.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like Zach Bryan, for instance.
Right.
He's another one that he just has his own following, and it's almost like where did it come from?
You know, it's funny you say that because I'll tell you, this was one of the oddest things I've ever seen. Every year in Canby, Oregon, there's a show called Hairfest.
Yes.
And literally, the year that he came, they're like, oh, with this guy, Zach Bryan. And we were like, okay, don't know anything about the guy, never heard of him, whatever. Right. It was one of the fastest sellouts they've ever done at this show.
Yeah.
And it was incredible because everybody had learned about him.
Yeah.
And you either love him or you hate him.
Right.
And I mean, you love his music, Something in the Orange, the one he did with Casey Musgraves.
Exactly. Yeah, he's got some great stuff.
I like those songs. I like his sound.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if he's the kind of guy I want to hang out with every day.
Right.
But I do love his music.
Right.
Some of it.
It's just crazy to me because he was here, I think it was last year, right around like Thanksgiving time.
Yep.
2 nights at the Moda Center, which
Sold
is
out.
A huge arena. Seats what, 50?
18,000.
Oh, it was 18?
Yeah. Yeah, without the basketball courts, like 18,340 or something like that.
But 2 nights sold out. I mean, that's incredible. But again, it's just his own. Everybody knows all his music, and I'm like, I know his 2 radio singles,
right.
You know, that's it,
right. Well, we work in a different realm of that as well. We get exposed to the country emails. It makes me wonder,
like how's everybody else finding them?
Yeah,
you know, and again, maybe it is the social media aspect of it. I
think it is. I think a lot of it, and I follow a lot of people like. Now, again, with AI, there was this big write-up a couple weeks ago about this guy in all the national country publication trades. And on Billboard, this song went to number one, thinking, oh, it's a new artist. It's was all AI.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to lie. I loved the song. I was like, I would play that right now.
How scary is that, though?
It's scary.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
Scary for these artists, scary for, we'll get into, I think that's a whole episode on its own.
Yeah.
But it's just crazy how these people, which I think is great that these people are getting discovered.
Sure.
And in such a capacity like Zach Bryan,
right?
You know, or Tyler Childers. I'm not super familiar with him, but I know he's got a huge following.
Yes.
I know here in the Pacific Northwest, he's got a huge following.
Every year sells out. In fact, he did 2 nights this year at the Hayden Homes Amphitheater in Bend.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's another one that does 2 nights, like no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, he could probably do 5 nights, and people will still come.
Yeah, it's interesting too because again, like you said, it's one of these artists that people find somehow, and it's just a word of mouth, sharing it with friends that you might like this sound or whatever.
Yeah.
But an artist that really stands out to me that like right off the top in the last couple of years that like just suddenly caught the right track. It was part of everyone's algorithm. Was the Oliver Anthony song, Rich Men of Richmond.
Right. Yep.
You couldn't turn a corner and not hear that song.
Yeah.
And it was on TikTok. It was like every other page.
Right.
And now he's gone.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
what happened to that
was
guy?
Was it a one-hit wonder?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
You know, but another person that, I mean, even a couple of years ago, Kane Brown. Kane Brown was shooting videos singing on Chris Young songs on YouTube.
And look at him now.
But and that was before there was TikTok and before there was Instagram.
Yeah.
So they were getting creative. He got very creative.
He did.
He had the right momentum, and people loved his voice. And now it's now you have two more avenues.
Right.
That you can go down. So always follow your dreams if you want to do that. Just like the artists say, it's the truth. It's still going to be very hard. It's
without a doubt.
Yeah, without a doubt.
And I almost think too, like, you know, social media is, you know, it's great and it does open up a lot of doors. But then you also do have the people who are not afraid to tell you that they don't like you. They don't like the way you look. They don't like the way you sound. And so it's like when you're trying so hard to chase that dream and then you have those keyboard warriors, you know,
coming at you and
kind of knocking you down. And, you know, kudos to all the artists that can just, it doesn't faze them and they keep going on because I mean that's got to get hard.
I will share the knowledge that I learned from Carrie Underwood. Her greatest saying that it caught me by surprise. I had to think about it for a second. It was like post and ghost.
Yeah.
Just post what you want, do what you want,
and then
then just move on.
Yeah.
Because
Which is so smart.
There's too many haters in the world.
Yeah, and definitely good words to live by.
Never going to appease everybody.
No.
There's just no possible way.
No.
It's too hard.
No.
But a lady who has helped everybody, and I think now she's on the next trajectory train of 2026 along with our buddy Drew Baldridge, Priscilla Block.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
fantastic,
she has transformed into a completely different person.
She has. Yep. She's worked hard. Yeah.
She looks so good.
Yep.
She sounds great. She's got a new album out. She is busting her butt right now.
She is. Yeah, I do. I'm glad that you mentioned her because I do feel like 2026, I really hope, is a big year for her.
Yeah, I do. And she will be the first one. Even her record label will say, we found her on TikTok.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean, she had something that she performed for like a friend, and then he shared it not knowing, and then it just boom, gone.
Crazy.
And so good for her.
Yes.
And now her life is completely changed
Right.
because we've seen her a lot over the years. Remember, it was like a year and a half ago, she was at the Wonder Ballroom.
Yes,
and,
we went to that show. Yeah.
and like we were downstairs, and next thing you know, we couldn't even get upstairs because it was so
packed.
crowded. It was
I know.
insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's just one of those artists to keep an eye on in 2026.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Another one, another Texas fella, Ko Wetzel.
Oh yeah.
He's got, you know, I know he went mainstream with one of his singles, but prior to that, I mean, he's got a following. I mean, it's huge.
Yeah.
You go to one of his shows, and it's like, again, everybody, all the B-side stuff, and they know all his music.
And his Christmas album. He has a Christmas album.
Exactly. Yeah.
And
which is.
I had no idea.
That's one I wouldn't expect a Christmas album from. You know, I was just saying, you know, a week ago, where's Russell Dickerson?
Right,
He's so fun and just outgoing, and you know. But meanwhile, Ko Wetzel's throwing out a Christmas album.
Right. Yeah.
Which I mean, it's great. I love it.
And it is. But you're right. And I think about that because I didn't know anything about Ko. And then he came out with a song with Jesse Murph.
Yep.
I kind of learned a little bit about Jesse Murph on the pop world because at the time I was working with a pop station. And I was like, all right, she's really cute. She's got great music. And then those two collabed together. And all of a sudden now, boom.
Yeah, exactly.
It's huge.
Yeah.
And you're right. Ko was one of those other guys that just everyone knew about. And for those that didn't know about him, now we're just learning. I feel like I'm so far behind.
I know. When I do go to shows like that where I only know a couple songs, maybe because they're opening for somebody, or, hey, you know, can you go to the show?
Right.
And then everybody else is, it's literally either almost sold out or is sold out, and everybody knows all their music, and it's like, man, am I behind? Am I not doing my homework? Like, how do I not know this?
I know. I feel like I'm failing sometimes. I'm like, gosh, how did I not know that or learn about it? Another one that's taken me completely by surprise since the CMAs a couple weeks ago, he was here with Hardy, and we were so busy running around, like we were trying to get in, and unfortunately, we missed some of the act and some of the show because we were saying hi to people. We were working out front with Stephen Wilson Jr.
Yep.
And then you guys got a chance to see him at the Crystal Ballroom. So I am completely lost about this man.
Yeah, and I will say it was a great show. It truly was. Again, it was a different show. He's got his own style, but everybody loved it. Like, and again, everybody was singing all his music.
Yeah.
And I think he really showcased his artistry at the CMA Awards.
Yes.
You know, he didn't sing an original song. He sang "Stand by Me," but he got a standing ovation. And again, I think it showcased his artistry. And I think he is going to be one that we're going to hear a lot more from coming up.
Yeah, I feel like him, Hardy, and Ernest, the three of those guys working together, and maybe doing with Morgan.
Yeah.
If he ends up opening for Morgan at some point, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe hopeful.
Yeah.
But I feel like I need to learn and listen to more of his music because I feel like his music is very deep.
Yes.
And
it's very
raw.
It's very raw. Like the lyrics, like he's not just putting out a single. He's not just putting out songs because he has to, or he's putting out meaning. He's putting out emotion. He's putting
an
out
artist.
Yeah, he truly is. I mean, he's putting out works of art that are his story.
Right.
And I respect that. I kind of, like when you hear singles, like, oh, we just released a single that played for 10 weeks, let's get the next one out. And it's like, it's that constant, they keep going.
Yeah. And we're not we're not bagging on Nashville, just so you know. We're not.
Which I do think is great because you're constantly getting that new music, but it's also kind of special too when you get a single every once in a while, maybe not quite as fast because there was a lot of meaning into it and a lot of time well spent making it to where it is today.
Right. And radio's a little bit different. Like lately.
Exactly. On the radio side, it is a lot different.
Right.
And I think that's why we're not hearing as much of this underground, if you will, music because, maybe that's where other people are gravitating towards. They're not just listening to
the same song that's being played 1,000 times.
Exactly.
Right.
Love mainstream, but sometimes it is nice to listen to something else.
Well, like Morgan Wallen, we'll just use that as an example. He's dropped a double album, then he came out with another double album or a triple album. I can't even keep up with him anymore. But I feel like my son Tanner is a prime example. Like I, as a radio personality, was serving up let's just say his latest single, 20 Cigarettes.
Okay.
We would play that 1,000 times. 20 times a day, whatever, every hour and a half.
Yeah.
As opposed to my son listening to every song on the album some other way because I'm not playing it on the radio.
Right.
He's finding it another way.
Yeah.
Because he wants to hear the music.
Yep.
And there's no fault to that.
No.
Because,
No.
it's just the way radio works.
Right.
But on the other hand, I feel like I'm behind because my son knows all these songs. Like, did you hear this? I'm like, no.
No, exactly. You do. You kind of feel like you're missing out. It kind of back to where we were talked about a few episodes ago. I like to listen to albums.
Right.
Like I like to listen to the whole because I feel like it's a whole story. There's a reason for this collection, this specific collection. So I think that's kind of another thing too is, there's music on the albums and people are listening to the full albums versus just the single because there's so much going on day to day. When you're in radio, there's only so many singles even that you can listen to.
Right. And especially with like TikTok, you can get exposed to a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
A name that everybody probably will recognize. He was at Jubett's Ponderosa Lounge, Cooper Allen.
Oh, yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Him? He came up with all those funny songs.
Yes, yep.
But he was that guy for the longest time. And it was crazy because when he came to Jubett's in the Pondo, that show sold out in like 10 minutes.
So fast. It's funny you mentioned him because he's one that I think is going to have a year next year.
Yeah.
I think I heard him. It's funny because we were going somewhere the other day and a song came on. I was like, oh, who is this? I had to actually look to see who it was. Because the voice kind of sounded familiar because he does have that, he's got a sound to him.
Sure.
And it was Cooper Allen, and it was one of his songs. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I loved hearing, his own stuff, his original stuff.
Sure.
He's talented. I think
he is.
He's fun. He's entertaining. And for him to be able to mix, the songs together like he does, I don't know how he does it.
I don't either.
It's fantastic.
It's
and it is entertaining.
Yeah. For those of you who have never seen Cooper Allen, go follow him on Instagram or TikTok or whatever. He's the kind of guy that he'll say, give me 5 crazy words. You're like truck, train, coffee, spinach, and something else.
Yeah.
and he'll write a song.
He'll make a song out of
literally with those
Yeah.
5, and I'm like, how the heck does he do
Yeah.
that?
Back to, we were just talking about the talent. Like, how do all these people get so much talent? Like, spread the wealth.
I know. Share a little bit with us,
Share
please.
it, yeah.
A guy that I got a chance to see a couple years ago, actually it was a year and a half ago, was Parker McCollum at Denver's Red Rocks.
Oh.
I got invited to a showcase.
So
Thank
cool.
you so much,
Yeah.
MCA, for that. We appreciate that. It was a bucket list dream trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
But a kid that we met prior to the night before was Vincent Mason.
Okay, yeah.
And Vincent had some great music that he shared.
I saw
he came
him
in
earlier this year, yeah.
Yeah, he came in and did like this little private performance.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 18 programmers from around the country. We all walked in and had breakfast and lunch with them and stuff and got a chance to meet him. It's kind of the way they do things. They do these showcases that
Mm-hmm.
they send people to every now and then. But he has really, again, progressed. His algorithm on TikTok and socials are really blowing up.
Yeah.
And he's got some great music.
He does. I saw him, I believe it was with Parker this past year. I believe he opened. Yeah, for
Yeah.
Parker. And he was great. He was
Yeah.
fantastic. And
Super good.
Yeah, he's another one that I do hope to start hearing
Yeah.
a lot more from. And
Definitely.
I need to do my job as well and start looking him up and start listening to a little bit more of his stuff.
But I feel like it just comes, they're coming at us every day.
And it's so fast.
It's like,
So much stuff. I get so many emails, and it's like, I try to open them all. I try to read them all, but it's like
Yeah.
I can't listen to them all.
No.
And I'm traveling coming up here in a few days, so I'm going to download a bunch of music
Sure.
and hopefully be able to finally get
that
some
opportunity,
time.
yeah.
Because it's like I do want to give these artists some time to listen because everybody deserves that.
yeah. And I feel like Vincent is probably one that you would like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
He's that guy.
I caught just the tail end of his set, but it was fantastic. What I
Yeah.
did catch.
Super cool guy, too. Nice guy. Another one that sticks out to me is local guy Ty Myers,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden, he has one song, Ends of the Earth, and now everyone's
look
in
at him,
love with
yeah.
him. And I had never heard him.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, like, he has massive fans, which
Yep.
is cool. Another guy is Hudson Westbrook.
Yes.
Same thing.
Yep.
Like these two guys just blew up and emerged from doing all the right things on
Right.
social media pages.
Bailey Zimmerman as well.
Huge.
I mean, he's huge, and he's been out, all over the road, doing his own tours, opening for people. I think he's on part of Morgan's
Team?
upcoming tour.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I think he is, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
Which he's going to be a fantastic.
I haven't seen it because he's not coming here, Morgan.
I
Sorry.
know.
We're going to have to
but
go to Vegas.
He's fantastic.
Yeah.
His energy level is
Through the roof.
It's through the roof. It's really cool, and I love how passionate he is about. And he's so sincere. I did a thing with him in Nashville right before CMA Fest.
He's
and
real.
He is. He's so sincere. He's very humble.
Yep.
Yeah, you see the crazy fun guy on stage, but you can tell he's grateful for where he is today.
He was working on oil rigs in Oklahoma like 4
Yeah.
years ago.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that lifestyle? Like, I think of it's funny.
Going from that to
Yeah, I always, if you've been watching Landman 2, season 2 is out, and Billy Bob's son is, and I think of like that would be Bailey Zimmerman in
Right.
my mind.
Oh, yes.
Out
Yeah.
working, trying to
yeah.
find oil, trying to dig up the next well.
Right.
But then I see him like all of a sudden he's rich.
And just busting out on stage
Yeah.
or rolling up in his Lamborghini.
Yeah,
or,
right.
Good for them.
Yeah,
good
good for him too.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any artists that you've recognized?
Warren Zeiders. He's another one that
Yeah.
started out on social media, and I remember seeing him a couple years ago at a festival. And
I remember this.
I almost want to say, he should have been on the main stage. He was on the B side.
Yeah. Talking about the Oregon Jamboree
Yeah, he
when
was
it
on
was
the-
still in session.
He was on the smaller stage, and I can't remember who was headlining that night, but he definitely should have been headlining that night.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Because no one went to watch that headliner. They all went over to see.
Well, they all went over to see him, and he put on a fantastic show. I think I knew 2 of his songs at that time, but now
Ride the Lightning was one of them.
Yep, and is it Pretty Little Poison?
Yeah.
Yep. But now, I have him on my favorites playlist.
Right. Yeah. It's funny you say that too because he had toured with Jelly Roll
Yep.
when Jelly was here. Mm-hmm. And I remember when Jelly, same thing, talking about careers. Like Jelly Roll was at the Roseland.
Mm-hmm.
And for those people, those 1,500 people that got to go to that show
And see him there,
and see
yeah.
Jelly Roll had the experience of a lifetime.
Right.
And still to this day talk about the magic of that show. And we're waiting for him to come back. Then he comes back,
Yep.
does the Moda Center, but then he ends up doing this whole special show with Warren Zeiders
Right.
and another TikToker,
Yep.
Alexandra Kay.
Yeah.
Which
Yep.
all of a sudden now, and I remember.
I've been hearing her name a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the cool thing about it was is I remember specifically, like, she had come out, she got a 30-minute set, and Jelly Roll had said, give it up for Miss Alexandra Kay. She has no record label. She's only been doing this on TikTok. So support her, go download
Yeah.
her music, help her out whatever you can. That
Yeah.
fast. Overnight, a record label's looking at her, and bam.
Isn't that crazy? Like from one person saying, check her out, and next thing you know, and giving her the opportunity and giving
Right.
her a platform
Right.
to perform in front of their audience.
It's
It's really cool.
And the way you just presented that to me is interesting because before there was social media, can you imagine an artist like Garth Brooks exposing somebody
Yeah.
like that where they
Yeah.
would be today?
Exactly.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, it would be huge.
Oh, my gosh.
Because at that time, Jelly Roll, I still feel like he's been away for a little bit.
Yeah.
He's been gone for like the last 6 months. And I'm
Yeah.
not saying gone, but he did a tour
he
with
did-
Post Malone.
Right. And then
He's
he
ta-
went overseas.
Right.
So I think he kind of really focused on that.
He did.
And I think he took some well-deserved time off.
And he
Yeah.
looks amazing. He looks
He
really good.
does, yep.
But at that time, he was like the biggest guy that everybody wanted to be touching, and so
100%.
Alexandra Kay, good for you
Yeah.
teaming up with him.
Absolutely, because again, for him to take his platform, and I think that's one thing that's really special about country music is the camaraderie. And
Yeah.
I feel like all the artists want each other to succeed.
Right.
And I think that's really kind of special because I don't really, and again, I'm not super familiar with the other genres, like with the pop world and the hip hop world. I mean, I just don't see
It's
it
not the
being,
same.
Exactly. I just don't see it being quite as embracing.
It's not.
And I love the fact that country truly is like that.
Right.
Like there'll be artists that maybe they're going for their second number one or second week in a row, and it's like, no, wait. This person, I mean, let them have their moment. Let
Right.
them have their number one. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it is fun. I think it's funny you say that because I was thinking about like the camaraderie of all these guys at the end of a tour. A lot of times they play pranks
Yes,
with each
I
other,
love
or
that.
they give like really good gifts to
Yep.
one another. Like one year, I think Luke Bryan gave one of his opening acts. I forget who it was at the time. Like a brand new Ford Bronco before it even like they were literally out that week, and he went
wow.
and bought 2 of them
That's
for the
so
artists
cool.
that opened
Yeah.
with him. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But then I think about pranks. One time it was Kelly Pickler and Taylor Swift had pranked Brad Paisley on stage for a song "Ticks," and they came
Oh,
dressed out in
as
these
Ticks,
uniforms. I'm like,
yeah.
can you imagine seeing that show? I mean,
Yeah.
if you were a part of it, you probably were hysterically laughing, not realizing how big these 2 ladies were going to be in music.
Yeah.
But I do like the teamwork and how everybody embraces each other and helps one another.
Yeah.
Because it is a very small community.
It is.
And
It
it's
is.
difficult to get started. There's writer sessions.
Yeah.
There's only just writers, and there's only just performers. It's such a wide area of
Right.
in that town of wherever you want to be.
Well, and it's also too like bringing up songwriting. I mean, a lot of time artists they write together,
Right.
And
That's cool.
with songs coming out. So it's I don't know. It's just really kind of neat. Like you think of the song "Cruise"
Yeah.
from Florida Georgia Line. Look at how many writers were on that, and look at how many of them were artists.
Right.
So it's like back to again how the camaraderie and how close everybody is. I mean, you don't know who you might be writing with them next week.
Yeah.
You
I wonder, and when I look at that song too, I wonder if it's like, hey, I'll help you, you help me down the road.
Yeah,
It could be.
I mean, who knows?
right?
Yeah.
It's you pat my back, I'll pat yours.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
don't know. But then it's like, okay, so you have 2 artists writing in, a room. I mean, there's probably other writers or whatnot.
Sure.
It's like, okay, so who gets the song now?
Yeah.
This song was great. The song was a banger. Who's getting it now?
Right. That's why they say add a word, get a third. But they
Yeah.
always say also, like, if you have a song and you're in this group of people, be careful how you talk in Nashville, because if somebody hears you
Yeah.
and says it the same, like you could be at a dinner table.
Yeah.
Like I'll use the Palm restaurant. If you ever go to Nashville,
Yes.
go to the Palm. It's a
Oh, yeah,
great
you have to,
restaurant.
yeah.
Just go for a drink, have a
Yeah.
cocktail.
Yeah, or an
and
appetizer or cocktail.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go.
enjoy the characters that are on the wall, because everybody has a character in that room.
Yeah.
But if you're sitting at the bar, talk softly.
Exactly,
Because
yeah.
you could say something and someone go, that's the word I needed for the song.
Right.
It
Yep.
could be interesting.
Yeah.
Another person that I'm still looking at too, which is kind of interesting, is Austin Snell. I've heard that
Yes.
name a lot lately.
So have you seen him perform
No.
live? Okay, we saw him again at a festival. Fantastic.
Right.
Another one where I felt like he should have been on the main stage.
Right.
But sometimes there's only so much room,
Sure,
when you're
of
putting
course.
festivals together. But again, fantastic. And I think that 2026, with the new year coming up, I'm excited because a lot of these newcomers, and some of these artists just starting out, I think they have a huge, bright future ahead of
Yeah.
them next year.
I will say, and you know this already
Mm-hmm.
about me, that I'm a huge fan of new music. Like I can only listen to so much music so much.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, give me another song.
You want something new.
Like
Yeah.
working in radio, they go for new ads on Mondays.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this in the podcast before, so go back and check out some of our existing podcasts. But I always feel like every Monday there's got to be a new song, and we
Right.
can't always add it, which stinks because
Right.
when you hear, I'll just use an example, I Never Lie from Zach Top. We've
Okay.
heard it how many times now? 10
Right.
million times? It's not that I don't love the song. I love
Right.
the song and I like hearing it. But when it's playing every hour and a half, I'm like, okay, I
You're-
want to hear a new one.
You're
Give me a
ready for
new
something
one.
new. Exactly. Yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
For sure.
I turned on the radio the other day and I heard a song and I was like, I feel like I just heard this again, so I'm going to switch. And then I went and did something else and I find myself 20 minutes later, I'm like, retracting. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, got to go back to the radio station and
Yeah.
see what's up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is cool. Support your local radio stations,
Absolutely.
please,
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
Because we are the ones that are going to provide you the brand new music, unless it's on TikTok and you just
Yeah.
don't want to listen to radio. But
But
let's
no,
admit it.
Radio is
This
still super important.
this-
but this is also
is our radio.
yeah,
right.
It's changed the game.
It really has.
yeah.
It's surprising to me how many people don't actually know the phone is a radio. They just think, oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know it. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's lots of things on
Nope,
there. There's
that's true.
apps. There's all sorts of cool stuff. So
Yep.
any other artists that you look at ready for the new year?
I think Ashley Cook. I think she's going to have
Yeah.
a big year. She's another one. She kind of started out on social media,
Yep.
and now she's with a label. And I think that what they're doing with her is fantastic. I think she's getting to, be herself,
Yeah.
and I think she's going to do some great things.
I think she's part of that camp with Hardy, Ernest, and Morgan Wallen,
Yep.
which is called Big Loud
Big Loud,
Records.
yep, she's
Love
with Big
those.
Loud,
Great,
yeah.
great group of people and
Yep.
a great label. I mean,
Yeah,
what a lineup!
I know, right?
Wow.
She was on tour at Parker this year. I saw her twice this year. Once at a festival, and then once at Parker, and both times fantastic performances.
One more name for you, Chase McDaniel.
Okay.
Gonna be another one. Check that out. I think you're gonna like Chase
I feel
as
like
well.
I feel like I've heard that name before.
You
So
probably have.
I need to look that up.
If
Yeah, that
you-
sounds very, very familiar.
Yeah, if you see him on TikTok and follow on the socials, you
I need to get on TikTok. You keep mentioning TikTok. I'm not
Really?
on there, but apparently
I'm sorry.
I need to be on there.
I just created a
I'm
monster.
I'm an Instagram gal, but I don't know. After all these weeks, I'm like, all right, I guess I got to get it.
I mean, it's really just a crazier version of
Yeah.
Instagram.
Yeah.
They do the same reels and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
But I feel like you can expose a little bit more.
Yeah, and I do feel like a lot of people are getting discovered from TikTok.
Yeah, so it's interesting. So if you have a new emerging artist that you've heard or that you know of that you'd like to share with us,
Yeah.
please share your experience with us because we would love to have you subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us along right here on the podcast at Country Music Rocks. You can always email Julia at
Yep, Julia at countrymusicrocks.net.
and myself, Danny at countrymusicrocks.net, and just let us know who you want us to check out, and
Yeah, 'cause-
maybe you'll surprise us.
Yeah, so we're not feeling left out. I feel
Yeah.
left out. Yeah.
I know. Give us some more info because we
Yeah.
need to learn a little bit more, it feels like.
Yes.
But thanks for watching the podcast and happy holidays.
Yes.